The Galaxy Z TriFold is finally out. I'm here to tell you not to get it and to get this instead. Let's go. All right, I had this thought 15 minutes ago and I just wanted to literally turn the camera on and start talking about it. I don't think you should buy a Galaxy Z TriFold right now. Hear me out. The launch price in the US has just come out at $2,899, which is just about $4,500 Australian. Lots of money. Lots of people have taken to the internet to say what you can buy instead of a Z TriFold, and completely, I get it. You can get a whole bunch of stuff for the same cost of one phone, but also a tablet at the same time. But here's the thing. I don't think you should get it. I don't think anyone who wants a Samsung phone right now should actually go out and spend nearly $3,000 on that phone. Am I going to want it? 1000%. Purely just because it's new, it's innovative, and it's a showcase of where Samsung's smartphone direction is going. But that doesn't mean it's going to be practical. Here's why the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is actually the more practical choice to get if you're chasing a foldable. First thing to consider is the design of it. Now on the front, it's virtually identical. Both of them have a 6.5-inch panel, and both of them have the same aspect ratio, and you can operate it in the exact same way because it's effectively the same screen. Well, it is the same screen. So from that aspect of it, I don't actually think the Z TriFold would be worse, except when you're holding it. It's over 300 grams in weight. All of the work that Samsung have done with the Z Fold 7 and that series in general to push it down lower and lower in weight to be lighter than the S25 Ultra even just gets absolutely wasted because the Z TriFold now has an extra layer or an extra screen on the inside that's bigger and then is going to take up more space and make it heavier. Whole purpose of what Samsung have been trying to do is make the phone more like a traditional smartphone, whilst also giving you more to open up to. The Z TriFold kind of goes against that because whilst on the front, visually it looks like it's the same thing, it doesn't actually give you that because it's thicker and it's heavier. Samsung are trying really hard with their Fold series to basically bring it in line to a traditional slab phone to convert as many traditional slab smartphone users as possible. At over 12 millimeters thick and over 300 grams in weight, the Z Fold 7 is an absolute snip compared to it because it's 8.9 millimeters thin and it's only 215 grams. The Z TriFold is impressive from a design point of view, especially when you compare it to the original Galaxy Fold, which was about 16 or 17 millimeters thick. And I do have mine right here. And this thing is a chongus. I did compare all of the Galaxy Folds, so you can go check that out and sort of see the evolution of where Samsung started and where they are now with the Z Fold 7. But the TriFold, from a design point of view, kind of takes a step backwards. But obviously, there's good reason behind it. The main point, though, that I want to focus on here is practicality of Fold ownership. Because that, for me, is what makes the biggest difference when it comes to actually using one. Granted, I have not used the Z TriFold, but I have watched enough of other people's videos to truly understand what the concept of this form factor is. The beauty of the Fold is you get that phone screen on the front, and then when you need a bit more room, you unfold it once into the tablet size on the inside. Multitasking is great because you can do 2 apps side by side, you can launch pop-up windows, or you've got the added benefit of things like flex mode, where you can pop the thing down into that half-folded state and the content adjusts on the screen to suit. Whether it be for productivity and using the full screen or split screen or entertainment, that inside display kind of caters in a really nice way that's both portable, convenient, but also immersive. This is where the TriFold kind of doesn't meet that same level of practicality. The thing with the TriFold is you have to unfold it twice. Samsung have not allowed the software to work with it unfolded once. So if you just unfold the TriFold once, you won't be able to do anything with it. You will have to unfold it again. Obviously, once you get into that unfolded state, that 10-inch tablet is on the inside, and you can do so much with that. It is like taking a Tab S11 out with you everywhere you go. But to get to that point, you need to be really intentional with it because it's not that super quick unfolding action. It's 2 unfolds, and then you've got a monster tablet to work with. It doesn't necessarily feel like you always need access to it. So you'll probably try and do as much as you can from that cover display, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of having it. That isn't to say that, again, I wouldn't use it, or I definitely wouldn't try to use it. It more just means that I don't necessarily think that Samsung have kind of put thought into that part of the experience. That experience kind of lines up with the original Galaxy Fold, where they had that smaller cover screen in the hope to force people to the inside. And it kind of didn't work out the way they wanted it to. That's why they had to make the cover screen bigger. I do think that for the next generation of TriFold, Samsung's going to have to try and offer some in-between state because that double for unfold action kind of just makes a little bit of a barrier to entry, to opening. The other aspect too that I mentioned with the Fold 7 is that flexibility of flex mode. I always mean the pun when I say that. Because of the fact you can pop Fold 7 into that flex state and the software adjusts, it just gives you that extra bit of capability, flexibility and capability. I'm on fire. That's what happens when you don't write an outline or a script. TriFold doesn't have access to any of those. You do get the triple screen experience where you can have 3 screens in a traditional smartphone orientation next to each other, but there's no way of having the flex mode with the hinge to actually adjust the software to suit, which I actually think is a huge loss. I use that software all the time, and for that not to be available on the TriFold is kind of disappointing. Now, it does give you the added benefit of on-device Samsung DeX, something people have been asking for on the Fold 7 for ages. But it's the light version of DeX, or that new version of DeX that is now on like the Tab S11 series with One UI 8. It doesn't actually provide the full-blown desktop experience that you get when you plug into a monitor. It's more or less that new DeX, which allows you to resize windows and move things around a little bit more desktop-like, but it still isn't the full hog, but it does have it, which I guess does allow you to turn it into more like a desktop PC or an on-the-go laptop versus what the Fold 7 is, which is more like a mini tablet in your pocket. And then there's the cameras. And this is probably the least important point of the whole argument that I'm making here of not to get it, because it has exactly the same camera setup. You've got the same triple camera array on the back, and it's the same main camera from the S25 Ultra. What's annoying about it is it doesn't give you that camera flexibility that what the Fold 7 does. Again, going back to that flex mode state, the beauty of the Fold 7 is you have all of these capabilities. You can put the phone down like a tripod. You have rear cam selfie, which I'm going to assume the TriFold does as well, but it doesn't have the flex mode stuff, so it doesn't have both of them, which again, kind of defeats that purpose of having that foldable. Really, what you're paying for here is that technology that Samsung are developing. You're not necessarily paying for a better experience on the TriFold versus the Fold 7 right now. I think if you're going to get a foldable, the Fold 7 represents the absolute best that you can get because it has the lightweight design, it has the thin design, it has the most advanced Samsung Fold software that you can get because not only does it support multitasking, but it supports flex mode. It has a camera array that supports not only good shooting with good capability and good output, but also, I've used this word a lot, flexibility in shooting because of the fact you have the flex mode and the camera modes to go with it. The TriFold just isn't quite there with all of that mixed together, and you're paying more for it. Nearly $3,000 to get access to something that might not be as practical as the Fold 7. Yes, it's going to turn heads, and I want one regardless, but doesn't mean you should get one because whilst it's got this nice fancy appeal, whilst it's got all of the innovation locked into it, it just doesn't feel like it's a practical choice for an everyday smartphone carry. So definitely go out and get the Fold 7. If you were waiting for the TriFold just to see what it's like and you were considering it and maybe on the fence, I don't think you should really think about it. I think the Fold 7 should be the way to go. If you want to wait until I get my hands on one and maybe hear what I have to think and do a comparison directly between the two hands-on, hit subscribe because eventually I will get one and I will do that comparison and it will be worth it. That was it. That was all I wanted to say. So I'll see you guys in the next one. You.